This is Reporter Room with Jessica Della Davies.
Let's talk about new revelations regarding the Elliot Rodger Manifesto from James Patterson and Vicky Ward. So it takes a really twisted person to decide that that because they're being rejected by women, that they're simply going to do away with other innocent women. And Elliot Rodger and Bryan Kohberger's feelings about them. I mean, we've heard over and over from the Seven Sirens owner back in Pennsylvania, where Bryan Kohberger was using the B word when talking to female student servers. He was trying to get their addresses, he was basically harassing them. We've also heard from the WSU students who say that he was grading, talking about Bryan Kohberger here, female students differently than male students, that he was following students out to their car. We heard about the young woman who went on a date with Bryan Kohberger, where he texted her that she had nice birthing hips after she basically rejected him by going in the bathroom and pretending to throw up so he would leave. We've also heard from Steve Gonzalez that women at the University of Idaho were creeped out by Bryan Kohberger, that he was sitting there in their student union in the cafeteria where he didn't go to school, where he didn't know anyone, by himself, sipping water, staring at them. Now, I believe that all of these things that I've described were intentional to harass women. I believe that he was in the canteen, sipping water, staring down young women, and this was reported by more than one University of Idaho student, in an effort to harass them and to make them feel uncomfortable. I believe all of this was intentional. He had no business to be in the cafeteria, and he was exerting power and control, power and domination, which is what that is what I believe the motive was. So let's go back to Elliot Rodgers for a second, and then we're going to tie this back to Papa Rodgers. We're going to look at 3 or 4 of the most impactful posts that I think lead back to Elliot Rodgers and Bryan Kohberger being Papa Rodger. But he said in the video that he was 22 years old. He had never been with a woman. I'm paraphrasing here. He had never even kissed a girl. This is Elliot Rodger. He said it was injustice, a crime. And, I just feel like if women aren't attracted to Elliot Rodgers, because maybe it has something to do with how he feels or felt about them. Women can tell when a man is misogynistic and doesn't really like them. Women can tell when men hate women. So why would anyone go to a car dealership and buy the wreck of a car? You would pick out the nicer, well-run, well-tuned car in the lot. So why would anybody pick somebody as damaged as Elliot Rodgers or Bryan Kohberger when they could, have somebody who's not damaged? So Elliot Rodgers and BK, I believe they are both losers who refuse to take accountability and responsibility for the fact that they were not able to attract the type of females that they wanted. So instead of taking responsibility and making adjustments in their own behavior and in their way of engaging with women and their own attitudes toward women, they blamed and ultimately targeted innocent women. Now, Elliot Rodgers said he planned to enter the, quote, hottest sorority house and do away with every spoiled, stuck-up blonde he saw there. So is this what Bryan Kohberger ultimately did? Didn't he go into a party house? The house that was known for parties on the street, King Road, which was known for parties. This was the closest thing that he could get to a sorority house and do away with Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan. Now, Elliot Rodgers was being studied by Bryan Kohberger at DeSalles. So most of you on this channel know about the Chads and the Stacys, but let me just quickly explain for anybody who's newer to Reporter Room. And I do have a whole playlist on this if you want to go through it after we're done with this live stream. But Chads are males that are, this is referred to in the incel world. Now, incel means involuntarily celibate. And I just want to share with you that most people who are voluntarily or involuntarily celibate don't bother anybody. They're nice, good, caring people, but there are extremists in any group. So Chads and Stacys, Chads are males that are able to get beautiful women, and Stacys are beautiful women. And I believe that this group online, these extremists, refer to men as Chads and women as Stacys as a way to depersonalize them. It's a way to depersonalize human beings, to reduce them down to a simple name and to scapegoat them. And isn't that what Elliot Rodger and Bryan Kohberger both did? Didn't they ultimately scapegoat innocent women? And isn't this why Bryan Kohberger carved Ethan's leg? This was all scapegoating. This was all about power and domination. So I want to prove to you that Bryan Kohberger is Papa Roger. And then we are going to be looking at the top 12 takeaways from part 1 of the Amazon docuseries One Night in Idaho next. So please stay with me. So let's talk about Papa Rogers. Kristen Cameron, who was the administrator of the University of Idaho Murders Facebook book. And full disclosure, I was in that group with Papa Roger at the time that all of this went down. She said that shortly after the Schmurders, a Facebook user named Papa Roger began just leaving disturbing messages in their Facebook group with messages like, did the unaliver stop it for victims out of exhaustion, convenience, or lack of knowledge? He posted that. He said, did the unaliver, I'm watching my words, shower at the crime scene afterward? I don't think he did. But other posts mention the fixed blade knife. So let's go through some of those posts and why I do think that this ultimately does lead back to Elliot Rodgers. Okay, so here's number 1 of the evidence. I'm not going through all of them. I'm just going through 3 that I think are really significant. Of the evidence released, the Schmurder weapon has been consistent as a large fixed blade knife. This leads me to believe they found the sheath. This evidence was released prior to the autopsies. Now look at the date on this post. It's November 30th. And this is significant because we didn't find out about the K-bar knife until weeks and weeks later. So the fact that he was posting about this on November 30th is significant. So, and it's not uncommon for people like this, SKs like this, to want to engage. BTK, Dennis Rader, also engaged with the public through writing to newspapers, and he also was teasing and taunting law enforcement. So in today's world, if you wanted to tease and taunt the public, what would you do? Would you post in a newspaper? No. People don't get their news, most of them, from newspapers like they do anymore. You would go into one of the biggest Facebook groups and go at it that way. So let's look at the next one. So he knew about the knife in advance, and he's talking about it. And this would have been a way for him to feel superior to other people. And he says here on December 15th, this is a couple of weeks before Bryan Kohberger was arrested, the dates of the unaliving, I'm watching my words, was chosen on purpose. Thoughts? And yes, I agree. This date was chosen on purpose. And I think this post is really significant. You guys, the date was posted on purpose because if you look at what I read to you from the Elliot Rodgers manifesto, and let me just take this down for a second. We're going to come back to that, but I just want to put this up instead. So he says in his post that the date was significant. And like I shared with you, if you go back to the bottom of page 118, and we know that page 118 was something that law enforcement got where they had one part of it was underlined. And I'm just going to read the last little bit. The day of retribution would have to be a normal party weekend. Now that weekend in Idaho, they had a huge party. That was a huge party weekend. It was a Vandals football game, and there had been a party at the 1122 King Road home on November the 12th. So I said it for some time during November of 2013. Now, Bryan Kohberger couldn't hop in a time machine and go back to 2013, but he did select November, and he did select the number 13, November 13th of 2022. So let's go back to this for a second. So I think that the date of when this happened was chosen on purpose. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It's free and it helps me out a lot. Give this a thumbs up and drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel